गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Today, in our second talk on management with the difference, we will talk about mutual growth. Mutual means two are involved. Now, in these two, who are the twos that we have to take into account while we think about the growth? Now, first, like yesterday's topic, we have to give due credit to the people involved in the process of delivering the goods. So all the people as a team, when we will work, it will be the mutual growth. It is more of the product that is being marketed is important and not as an individual who is claiming the success of the total growth. When this is done, the result is participation of all the people is wholehearted. Now this is one principle. About this I will give an example to make this point. There was one person, he was an architect and responsible for planning Delhi's master plan. This is about 20 years before. And he was very successful, very good in his own field. Only problem he had that he himself was extremely miserable after every meeting. And that miserable personality used to come and ease out on all the people at home. As a result, there was a constant discord in his life, although professionally he was successful. And then somehow he came in contact and he was listening. And one day he asked me one question. He said, Swamiji, you have never asked me when I come for your talks. I don't bring any book, anything. I simply sit and go back. I said, no, you are responsible, you know what you are doing. You know what he told me? He said, from your talk, I catch one principle and try to work out on that one principle. I said, for example, then he gave this example. He said, earlier what used to happen, whatever was to be decided, I used to decide first and then go for the meeting and tell everybody that you have to accept this. If anybody discusses, argues, it is to be a kind of a battlefield. And then in that bitterness, the meeting used to be over. But because I used to be the boss, they had to accept. So they were accepting and doing the job, but there was always a bitterness left behind. I said, now what you have done? He said, you told in one of your talks that any job can have many options in execution. There is not only one option, but one person can think with one biasness deeply. The other options are not possible to be looked upon by the same person because we are biased with our own understanding. About this biasness, I will give an example. Then we will come back to this example. One after another examples are coming. Don't get mixed up. This I learned from our Bhagavad or Mahabharata. They will start telling the stories, and in that story there is another story, and in that story there is another story, and finally you get lost. We don't know where from we started and where we ended. So, in this, how the things bias our vision, and therefore there is no mutual understanding and mutual growth. There was a teacher and he was teaching drawing. And he kept the 12 students like a clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 students. And in the center, he has kept a kettle, 2 or 3 cups, 1 flower pot, all those items. And told, now draw the picture. So everybody started looking at and drawing, looking at and drawing, looking at and drawing. After 15 minutes or 20 minutes, half an hour time was over. Now let us evaluate. So the student wanted to give the picture to the teacher. He said, no, I am not going to evaluate. Then you do among yourselves. Now how to do that? He said, let us do this way. 12 o'clock student should give his paper to 3 o'clock student. Don't change your positions. 3 o'clock student should give to the 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 9, 9 to 12, 1 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 10. In this manner, move your papers and then evaluate. So all of them had a common evaluation. What was that? Everybody is wrong. And when he said, now show me. So one student got all the papers and showed to the teacher. He said, see, hey, everybody is wrong. It is your evaluation, I have not touched. So now you all fail. No, sir, how can we fail, See, but I have not evaluated you. You yourself have evaluated. No, it can't be. Please do something. He said, okay. Then he started looking at them. And not only he evaluated them, everybody as correct, but he has also given the position, the angle from where that picture was drawn. And then he said, now, see, I don't know whose paper is whose, but I can tell you from the paper who has drawn from what angle. And he gave, it was all correct. Now what was the difference? He asked the students, what is the difference? You all evaluated that as wrong, and I discovered it was right. What is the difference? Now this is a question to you. How come all the other students were not able to see, but the teacher discovered it to be right? What was the reason?
Teacher was aware about the angle of all students.
Teacher wasn't biased.
Actually, since all the students were seeing the same object from different angles, they found the other person's angle incorrect, whereas the teacher saw it from the central, he could realize that everybody was seeing from a different
Good.
perspective.
This was repeating the totality of the class.
So the teacher had a complete vision of the situation, and individual students were fixed in their particular angle. This is what happens in most of the cases. We get fixed. Ideas, approaches, possibilities, understanding. And when this happens, only arguments, logic, I right versus you wrong. This is the ultimate understanding or arguments. Now my friend told, after you told me this, that this is not the right way, but there are many ways the same thing can be done. I said, then what you did? He said, this time I had decided. What? I presented the plan, and all the people were expecting the same routine as I used to do earlier. But this time I told them different. I said, hey, come on, this is the plan. All stood. The big paper was kept. And I want the comment of every one of you. And I was simply standing. So they started telling their views, everybody. And then he said, now let us conclude what we have discussed. And they concluded. And I said, okay, we agree with this plan. And everybody was very happy. And I was the most happiest person. I said, what is that? He said, because whatever I wanted to do, that was the conclusion. Now be very attentive. Earlier, it was my decision imposed on everyone. Now it was a collective participation, wherein everybody is responsible and therefore participating. This is called as mutual growth in any situation. See. Therefore, it is extremely necessary to know the law, basic law. What is the basic law? Even a dead clock gives correct time twice a day. Is it not? You can't brush somebody as dumb for good. No. So whenever we think of mutual participation in our scheme of management, now the scheme of management we must not limit only in the official matters, but also must involve in our total life. Then only we are managers with a difference where excellence is redefined. You know, about 15 years before, that was, the gimmick word of management. In search of excellence. Management is nothing but play of words. Every time they come with one new word and they go on playing with it, and when that word becomes old, they take another word and again the same stuff, but bottles are different. So those days it was the excellence. In search of excellence. Now what is excellence? Excellence is our external success in whichever field we are, plus inner peace and contentment. When there is a perfect balance achieved, then we are managers with a difference. Otherwise, many places, in their own field, they are extremely successful. But in their own life, they are extremely failure. Now, what is the reason? The reason is they are not taking the holistic approach in their approach in management. Therefore, when we are talking about the mutual benefit, in this mutual benefit, we have to involve not only ourselves, but the whole team, by which everybody feels this is my work. And whenever this is done by the manager of the top person, he is successful. About this, I'll tell you one example. Once, somebody was asking me on some management forum only, probably Delhi or somewhere, that how can we motivate the people who are working with us? What is the way to motivate? I said, motivation is possible under two conditions. When we are functioning under the influence of an inspired person, we get motivated. If we have to work with a person who is not able to live because he cannot afford to die, such a disgusted person, if you have to work with him, how can you get motivated? So if we really want our team in which we as the managers and all the members of the team all are to grow, it is the responsibility of the top person to see that he is a dynamo of providing any amount of motivation to any number of people. And for that, he has to be inspired. Inspiration is self-discovered motivation. And motivation is borrowed inspiration. When we borrow from somebody, when we get inspired or rather motivated by looking at the lives of people. Now this is one. Now second way of motivating the people is this. Whenever somebody has this feeling, should we do this way? Yes, whatever you tell. The moment this word comes across you, you understand you are a failure. Sir, whatever you tell, we'll do that. Should we do that? Whatever you say, we'll do it. The moment whatever begins, participation is suspended. See, very important. And if we block the participation of the people working around us, there is no growth individually or mutual. And therefore, if we want to keep our team inspired, motivated, there has to be a feeling that the persons involved in the whole project, they must feel that this is our job, this is our decision, this is our achievement. And for that, right from the beginning, at the level of planning and execution, and also acceptance of the results, both failure and success, in a spirit of togetherness, alone can have the benefit of mutual existence. And these are the points which the top person has to understand. Like Bhagavad Gita says, Urdhva Moola Madashakham Ashvattam Prahuravayam. As is the Moola, the top, so is the bottom. Now, this principle, when you learn, apply it both in your workplace as well as at home. About this I will tell you at home, one or two examples. There is a friend of mine somewhere, and very nice family. One day he told Swamiji, I don't know, last few days there is some kind of khatpat going on between me and my wife. I said, it's a good sign, congratulations. He said, no Swamiji, I am fed up. So what happened? She is suspecting that I am going with some other girl. And it is 100% wrong. So you tell her. I said, I'll tell you because you have come with a problem. She has not come. And I told him, I said, look here, if she is doing that, I must congratulate you. It is a very good sign. How it is a good sign? Because she still loves you. If she will start living with you as a matter of fact person, love is totally dehydrated. No, you do whatever you like, I have no problem. Gone. How important it is. Because participation dried up. And when the participation of the people in any coexistence is dried up, life loses its charm. How this happens, how the mutual growth doesn't take place under this condition. This happened in Delhi long time back, a South Indian family. I went to some school, delivered my lecture, big program, and to drop me back to my place. So the principal was finding out somebody is going. So one person was going. So she said, will you please drop our Swamiji to his place? We are busy in our big function. She said, okay, it's good. I never knew who is that lady. So she was driving me. And I casually told her. No reason why I said, but I did say. I said to her, I said, hey, how is the Cold War at home? From nowhere the word came in my mouth. So immediately she started crying and pulled the car on the side, shoulders. Swamiji, did my husband talk to you? I said, Amma, I don't know who you are. For the first time in my life, I am seeing you. But why did you say like that? I said, I have committed the highest sin. I am sorry. No, 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 you must be knowing. I said, really, I don't know anything. Then she started telling the whole story. She said, Swamiji, there is everything in our house. But I don't know what is wrong where. There is no peace, there is no joy, there is no happiness. He has got very good job, business. We have got a very huge mansion type of bungalow. And we have got 2 daughters, very sweet. But what is wrong, we don't know. Then I said, I don't know, but you try. I don't discuss. Be very clear, okay? Yes. Then I said, from what you said and looking at you, this is my observation. I pray to the Lord, it is wrong. But I'll tell you. First, you are a matter of fact lady. And you must be leaving the things, the food is in the fridge, he can always take out, put in the microwave and eat it. Why wife is required? Is it not? Yes, Swamiji, what is wrong in that? Matter of fact, there is nothing wrong. But life is not a matter of fact. Life is a matter of love. Then what do? I said, what I tell you, you will not do it. But if you do it, you will be benefited. What is that? I said, male husbands are extremely weaklings. They require babying. So you say you have got 2 daughters, now accept. You have got 3 children. 2 daughters and 1 boy. And you have to baby him. And once you start babying him, how do you do that? I said, that also I had to teach you. He said, Swami, I never know all these dummy things, I said, then you suffer in life. Then I told her, I said, look here, you start giving him his dress in the morning, insist, no, you should put on this shirt, this pant, this thing, this doesn't look good on you, I'll get new thing for you. Start possessing him. He should feel that you cannot live without him. His ego will start getting lost. Second thing, you wait for him. Unless he comes, don't take food. You take food, but tell him that you are not taken. I am telling you practical thing. You eat, doesn't matter. But you tell, see, I have been waiting, come, let's take and all that thing, but now my hunger is gone, therefore I'll eat little bit, you eat the whole thing. Make fool of it, doesn't matter. And insist, today we should go here, there and all that. You have not brought this thing for me. Ask for silly things. And when he doesn't bring, you become angry. Do all that tamasha. Tum ruti raho, main manata raho. Shuru karo. And she said, Swamiji, I have never done it. I said, you are discussing with me. I told you I don't discuss. She started probably after 6 months. From somewhere again she found out and came to my house in Delhi. She said, Swamiji, do you remember me? I said, I have seen you somewhere. I don't remember anybody's name, fame, anything. She said, you took me and then I said, yes, that Cold War, yes. Now how it is? Swamiji, there is such a tremendous change. Now I know where I was going wrong. What was that? There was no mutual participation in the lives of each other. You live your life, I live my life. This is how today the Western world has no husband-wife institution. For the first time when I experienced, now I know it very deeply. For the first time when I went to Stuttgart in Germany, I was staying with some person, and naturally when there is a lady and there is a man, we normally understand they are husband and wife. because they are staying in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, naturally husband and wife. That was the great revelation for me. Swamiji, he is my boyfriend. Now I was talking to myself in my mind, you are now 50 plus and this guy is 60 plus. तो boyfriend, बूढ़ा friend कौन, boyfriend का है? And then introduction about the things in the house. You know, this cat is mine, the dog is his. The mattress is mine, the bed sheets are his. You know, the cups are mine, the saucer is his. Arey Ram, 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 Ram. And as a result, they had a very clear understanding, these things belong to me, this thing belongs to them. So whenever they don't click, they lift their things and go away. Do you call it as a life and participation? Therefore, the most important principle in mutual coexistence is there has to be a participation of all the people involved. And if this is not done by the top person, it is the mistake of the top person. And once you understand this principle, you will see such a family, such an organization grows. And in that, everybody is benefited. I learned once from one of the very big business person. This happened on one of the airports, probably Singapore. That person had a factory of watches. He shifted his whole operation, manufacturing operation, from India to China. And he happened to meet me 3 or 2 times exactly on the same airport and the same flight time. So I said, hey, we have decided to meet here only. So first time we met, he came, did Namaskar, Swamiji, I watch you on TV, this, that, how are you, everything over. I said, what are you doing here? He said, Swamiji, I am producing, those Ajanta clocks. So now I have shifted my operation in China. I said, what is the benefit? He said, the benefit is the work which is done here in India by 10 laborers is done better by 3 laborers over there. This is the basic difference. Second thing, I don't have to appoint additional person to see that the laborers work. So one supervisor is not required. Visor are enough. Supervisors are not enough. And the most important thing, when it is a question of work, all are working sincerely. When we dine together, we sit together and talk together. And thus, the whole atmosphere is, it is our production, it is our order, it is, we have to meet the target. It is not the boss's company, boss's order and boss's targets. That is not the language we talk. He said, as a result, we have 0 problems in our company. Now what was the beauty? Beauty was both the owner as well as the labor class, they had mutual trust. So I am coming to the next point. Mutual trust that whatever is being done is not only harvested or eaten away only by the boss, but it is also shared by the people in the company. See, the purpose of the bonus, etc. is this only. So whatever we get, that we share. And when we are ready to share and build a confidence that here is a place where we work, where mutual growth is given top priority and not the individual progress. This is the basic difference of our Indian approach to management than the Western approach to management. See, I have a friend, Mr. Doshi. He is a pharmacist and a Gujarati. I always stay with him in USA. Very nice family, very close to me for last 20 years or so. So I said, hey, last time I came, you were in some other job. This time you have changed. So you must be losing the benefit of your long service and all that. He says, Swamiji, in this country, that kind of relationship has no existence. I don't care for my boss doesn't care for me. I care for myself, he cares for himself. If I get some good job, I just kick and go out. If he doesn't want me, he kicks me and throws me out. It is so simple. And because of this, there is a constant tension in the whole society. There is no sense of security and a mutual growth. What is required is, unless, now this is a very subtle point, please catch, unless all the participants in a group are responsible and participating with involvement, keeping in view the profits, then only it can be a creative organization. If there is a discord, why should I worry for what the boss is getting? I should get my bonus. I should get my leave. This is what is happening with these communist people. Why our Bengal and Kerala is not working? It is only on this one-sidedness. There is no mutual growth taken into account. And therefore, friends, mutual growth is the foundation of invoking the participation of all the people. And when all of us participate together with commitment and creativity, results are bound to be there. Is given to us by the producer is not only to cheat and take money from us, but our interest is also kept in view. And thus the customer and the producer relationship is based on the mutual trust. And the mutual trust has to be initiated from the producer, and then only the customer will accept it. Lately, if you must have read in Economic Times, then on Time magazine, in this many international weeklies or fortnightlies, India is coming in a very big way. You must have read the big articles. And one beautiful point I read when I was in some flight, it was said that the attitude of the Indian producers and suppliers has changed. Earlier attitude used to be, give a sample different and supply the material different. That was the hallmark of our Indian producers and suppliers. Now they have understood. Now they are maintaining the quality, and as a result, China is no more a threat to the Indian producer. They say you kindly increase your output from something like 40 tons a month to 120 tons a month. We want a huge quantity. We have got a tremendous big order from Germany, and we have to supply it before December. A huge assignment. So you immediately double your capacity and do. So when I was talking to him, I said, what is the reason suddenly such a big order? He said, now throughout the world, my company is supplying the products or whatever we give has the recognition. As a result, there is mutual trust between the manufacturer and the consumer. See, these two things. One is the men involved, and second is the material involved. So whatever production we are doing, it must keep in view the benefit for the consumer. It is not only that I sell and I get the benefit, but also the consumer gets the worth of his money that he is paying. This attitude has to be changed. So when we think about the mutual growth is in terms of not only the relations with the people, but also with the relation with the consumer as well as the producer. Now, when this thing is done, we go one step further. This one step further mutual benefit is, see, recently I was in, where, I think, first I was in New Zealand, then I was in Singapore. So I got some goods for me. So in that they have charged a GST, some government tax. I said, hey, I am not staying in your country. Why should I pay tax? To that person I told. He said, you are right. Show me your passport. So I showed him my passport. Then he took out a form and filled in the whole form and put my passport number and date of departure from Singapore and all that, put the stamp. He collected money from me, all the taxes, everything, and he said, when you go to the airport, before you check in, or rather after you check in, when you get the boarding pass, with the boarding pass, there is a counter, you go there, all the money that you have paid as a tax you get in return. See how simple it is. Now what is the result? Result is, nobody thinks in terms of evading the tax payment. Now it is the rule. Everybody has to pay taxes. So when this way it is understood, then mutual growth, the producers of the wealth as well as the government, they can grow together. So evading taxes as one of the methods of getting profits is not a mutual growth for the individual units and government at large. Therefore, when this in our country, VAT and all these things have started, if we, the producers or the people at the top, are able to understand in the interest of the whole nation, it is necessary. And when this is understood by us and we, our own accord, start doing the job, the whole atmosphere of the country, the production, the benefits will be shared by all together. See how important it is. And therefore, when we think in terms of the mutual benefits, we have to think in terms of these three areas. First is the relational benefits between the management and workers. Second is the relational benefit between the producers and the consumer. And the third, the units of production and the government as an institution under whose umbrella we are functioning. Now when these three things are taken care of, the net result is we are tension free. See? And when we are tension free, then there are many avenues in life to grow spiritually. Now here one difference which I emphasize in all my talks is this. Life does not mean, when we talk about management as a science, limited only during our career. No. After we retire also we continue to live. We don't stop living. After I resigned from or retired from my job as CEO of a company, now what? I am waiting to die? No. We have to continue. And that continuance of our post-retirement period is the spiritual discipline. And when we thus spare some time during our professional period marked for our spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is not contrary to your material growth. So we have to bring this element in life. Why I am telling you this, we come across many elderly people. You feel so pity on them. They have everything, yet they are lonely, vague, they don't know what to do, and there is no orientation. and all the time worried about the health. Nothing else. One example I'll give you. This happened in some other country. I was staying with them. Every year I stay with them. That man is 78 or 80 almost. In Australia, you don't get retired till you want to get retired. You can continue. There is no age of retirement. So he is very good in his job. So government has given him total freedom. You come 3 days a week, 4 days a week, your own time. And he is mainly in the advisory capacity. As regard job is concerned, understanding is perfect. As regards scripture, study, everything is concerned, unparalleled. He is an encyclopedia of knowledge. But individual life is 24 hours worried about health. Seeking constant attention. Now he is 80, so his wife will not be 20. She is also 75. And how much work that lady has to do. The other day when I was sitting, I was feeling so uncomfortable. He finished his food earlier, and then I said, Amma, you sit today with me. What is this? Every day you don't sit. So we sat. Now he has finished his food, he is simply sitting. So she just took the rice and she was mixing. You have not given me my medicine. Then she again washed her hands and got the medicine. And again she said, let's see what wanted to eat. What about water? Again washed the hands and got the glass of water. Again she said, it is too cold. And I cannot get up, I feel so low. I think I got pain here. I think something is wrong. And I phoned doctor. Constantly 24 hours thinking, talking only about health. The doctor says, there is nothing wrong with you physically, biologically. Everything is wrong with you mentally. Now what is the reason? Be very attentive. Reason is, no spiritual practice ever done in life. Now be very attentive. What is the spiritual practice for living as a manager with a difference? We have to learn to live independent of things, beings, to an extent, to discover that our life is independent of the present body. That is the ultimate. Body is an instrument through which the life is expressed. But our whole life is lived by the body, for the body, on everybody. And that's it. And then such people in the old age, either they take the support of the drugs or the liquid spirituality. See, today I received one phone call in the afternoon. I just finished my sleep and the phone was ringing. So I know, Swamiji, after so many days we could catch you. How are you? Swamiji, my son, such and such, he is becoming uncontrollable and all that. So you please come and do something, tell him. I said, Amma, what is your age? Swamiji, I am 85 or 90 plus. Okay. What is your son? He is 65. Know what I should do? Swamiji, you can come and bash him. I said, if I bash him, he will kill me. Then I said, let him suffer. You can do nothing about it. Now be very attentive. How long are we going to spend our whole life living at the relative existence? Son is like that, daughter is like that, husband is like that. Enough. See, About this, I'll give you one principle to understand. This happened in Washington, D.C. last year when I went. I was having a camp, spiritual camp, I think 5 days. And there was one American white lady, she came for the camp. And we used to have the counseling sessions. I said counseling, mobile counseling, while walking on the path, not inside the room. You will eat my head. So, with everybody's time, I used to go for a walk, nice, and come back, and during that period, talk and discuss. So this lady started. Swamiji, everything was all right. Suddenly one day my husband tells that I want my freedom. We are no more husband and wife, and I seek divorce. And he just walked out. And I am so depressed last 2 years. I wanted you to come to my house, but my house is in such a dirty shape. I don't feel like living, and I don't know what happened. So when I heard you, so let me see whether you can help me. I said, I am not going to get married to you. No, not like that. Then what I should do? So I told her, how is he? He is enjoying. Then I asked her, this is a very important point, friends, please catch. I asked her, did you ever think why he is enjoying and you are suffering? I said, the reason is, he has rejected you and you have a feeling you are rejected by him. This is the only feeling. Now why don't you change it? What? You said to yourself, assert, I was bored of that guy, so I rejected him. I kicked him out of my house. And therefore, you enjoy, let him suffer. Hey man, you make a sense. I never thought about it. I said, yes. Why do you feel that you are rejected by the world? You reject the world before the world rejects you. There will be a tremendous difference in your life. That is why, those people who resign the job, they walk away. And those who are removed, they are frustrated. I don't know what I should do now. Don't live on the mercy of the world. Keep your freedom intact. And that is possible only when you discover this inner strength. So as we grow old, particularly males I am talking, as the man grows old, he becomes a weakling. As a woman grows old, she becomes the strength. See? You will see in most of the cases where when the husband dies earlier, wife is able to manage the life thereafter for quite long. If it is the other way around, if the wife dies, this fellow follows her to trouble her there. He can't continue for long. Because the reason is more and more dependence, more and more dependence. And what was happening when you were working, earning a lot, all the time you had the authority. And that lady was also serving you. As a result, we become a weakling. And then for everything, where is my toothbrush? Now what that old lady say? It is in the bathroom. Now there is nothing that you can talk about love. Even at the age of 70, you want to ask where is the brush? And toothpaste. वो भी वहीं रखा है ना, दिखता नहीं क्या? Then the third thing, where are my teeth? Yesterday you removed them and kept in that box. Oh, I have forgotten. Love in old age means to brush your partner's teeth. Because both of them, when they sleep, they take out the tincture and whoever gets the first. Honey, will you do one favor? Yes. Will you please brush my teeth and bring them? Mutual growth. Now see the total thought that we have taken right from the beginning, in which there was a complete participation, fulfillment, spiritual growth. When all these things are taken into account in your life as a whole, your management is not limited only to the profession, but for the life. All the professionals are basically living human beings. We cannot take professionalism independent of the quality of life that we have. Therefore, let us be very clear, in this mutual growth alone there is benefit for everybody. If I want to grow independent of everyone, it is not possible and it cannot be beneficial. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.